Congresswoman Val Demings, a Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, and the former Orlando police chief. Congresswoman, welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Good morning, Chris. It's great to be here.
Based on the witnesses that the committee heard from this week, based on the documents that you have received, do you believe that there is now hard evidence that President Trump committed high crimes and misdemeanors, and do you believe that the House will now vote to impeach him?
Well, Chris, let me begin here. As you've already indicated, I served a lot of years in law enforcement. I had the honor of serving in every rank at my department. I even was appointed to chief of police. I took that job very seriously, as I take this job. When I made the decision to run for Congress, I said that the safety and security of our nation is my #1 priority, as it should be, because that is the foundation, I believe, that we build the American dream upon. I believe if you look at the evidence over the past about 10 days or so right now, I think it's pretty clear that the president tried to coerce a foreign country into investigating a political rival and use much needed military aid as a condition of the deal. When you look at the readout from the administration, from the president himself, it corroborates everything, all of the information that is in the whistleblower's report. And so we cannot ignore what is painfully right or obviously right in front of us. And yes, I do believe that the president dangerously abused his oath of office and his administrative powers, which risks our national security.
So to again ask you my question directly, do you believe he is guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors and that the House will impeach him?
I believe that an abuse of power, as we have seen over the last 10 days, that have been so detailed and appropriately laid out by the whistleblower, I think the elements are there. I think that the evidence that we need are there. And I do believe, based on that, that we will have to take a serious look at articles of impeachment.
What's your reaction to the report this morning that there is now a second whistleblower, a second intelligence agent? Apparently, he has not filed a complaint yet with your committee, but he, or she, I should say, has spoken to the intelligence community's inspector general.
Well, let me just say this, Chris. Let's deal with the first whistleblower. I believe this is a career service employee, a public servant. I consider him or her a patriot, someone who is aware of wrongdoing and has stepped forward at risk, I believe, to themselves. Of course, I support what Senator Grassley said last week, that we need to protect the whistleblower. I'm concerned about statements that were made about from the president about maybe we should handle this person like we used to in the old days. And the reporting that a second whistleblower has come forward or is about to come forward, I believe, again, would be someone who sees wrongdoing, hears wrongdoing, and wants to do something about it.
Now, the White House, as I pointed out at the beginning, your committee, the House, has voted to subpoena documents from the White House. The White House says that it will not release those documents, will not turn them over unless the full House votes to authorize an impeachment inquiry, as was done in the cases of Bill Clinton and Richard Nixon. Why is House Speaker Pelosi refusing to hold a formal impeachment inquiry vote?
Well, Chris, let me say this. I would hope, this has been a painful time this past couple of weeks now. I would hope that the White House would cooperate with Congress and actually acknowledge the oversight that we have a responsibility to do. However, there is no requirement under the Constitution that we have a full House vote. There is no requirement under House rules that we have a full House vote. And there is no precedence that we have a full House vote that really drives what we do.
Wait, Congresswoman, you say there's no precedent. There have only been 2 times in the history of under the rules we now have. Andrew Johnson back in the 1860s was different. In both the Bill Clinton case and the Richard Nixon case. There was a clear precedent. The full House voted and authorized a full impeachment inquiry. So there's a precedent.
There is no requirement, again, under the Constitution, and no requirement under House rules that is the procedure that we follow. But, Chris, let me just say this. This past 10 days has been painful for members of the House on both sides of the committee. Obviously, it's been quite painful for the Senate, even though too many senators are quiet on this issue. And so we need to conduct a very methodical, very thorough investigation. We need to talk to all fact witnesses. We need to identify or review all documents as we begin the process of making a very, very important historical decision. And so, based on the information that we have, I believe that every American should be painfully concerned about what they have witnessed over the last couple of weeks.
We also learned this week that the first whistleblower, originally reached out to the Democratic staff of the House Intelligence Committee all the way back in August, and yet on September 17th, your chairman, Adam Schiff, was asked about any contact with the whistleblower. Here's what he said.
We have not spoken directly with the whistleblower. We would like to.
Now, the Washington Post gave Chairman Schiff 4 Pinocchios, their highest level of falsehood, of dissembling, for that comment. And here's how President Trump reacted.
I think it's a scandal that he knew before. I go a step further. I think he probably helped write it.
First of all, is there any excuse for Chairman Schiff not being upfront and saying, yes, there was contact? And secondly, didn't Chairman Schiff, in effect, get advance word, maybe it wasn't detailed, but some advance word about the nature of the complaint, which led him to push this story even before all of you got the transcript of the president's phone call?
Chris, let me just say this. With the president being accused of using his power and abusing his office to coerce a foreign country to assist in an election, it's kind of amazing that we would try to make the news of the day centered around Chairman Schiff words as it pertains to contact with the whistleblower. Chairman Schiff has, as you know, has served several terms in Congress. He has been a person who has provided exceptional leadership, and Chairman Schiff said he could have stated, responded to that question in a more clearer way. When he was asked the question, my understanding is that he was thinking of, has the whistleblower come before the committee? Is the committee aware of the nature of the complaint? No, the whistleblower had not come before the committee, nor was the committee or even staff aware necessarily of the nature of the complaint. It was a question about procedure and process.
All right. I'm running out of time, so let me ask you my final question. There is also criticism of Chairman Schiff for the way he laid out, the way he basically seemed to state President Trump's phone call with the Ukrainian president in that congressional hearing with the Director of National Intelligence. Here is Chairman Schiff.
I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it.
As President Trump says, that it's just not true. It isn't what the president says. You know, it's one thing, because there are questions about Chairman Schiff. He at one time talked about having evidence of collusion in the Russia case. The special counsel found no evidence of collusion. It's one thing to talk like that, even in a press conference. It's another thing to make stuff up in a congressional hearing on the possible impeachment of a president.
Chris, I believe what the special counsel's report said was that the elements of conspiracy, that the information that they were able to obtain through all of the obstructive efforts to prevent the special counsel from getting all the information, that the elements did not rise to the level of charging conspiracy. What the president said was, after the President Zelensky indicated that he was ready to purchase more military weaponry, the president said, but I need you to do me a favor, though. That's not disputed in any way. And we know that the president made reference on multiple occasions. As a former police detective, Chris, I've seen when the evidence was so painfully obvious, I've seen the subject of an investigation turn and attack the investigators. We've not only seen that from this president in this particular case, this is something that we have certainly seen before from him. We need to keep our eye on the ball.
Congresswoman Demings, thank you. Thanks for speaking with us today. Please come back.
Thank you so much. I will. Thank you.